My name is Maria Cortijo. I'm from Pamplona, which is a city, like teeny tiny town in the north of Spain. And both my parents work in the health sector. So I remember 2008 was a crazy year. And it was a point of reflection in my life because of two reasons. The first one, the fact that I realized I had questions. I had questions and no one in my circle could answer them, because I would go to my parents like, oh, why is there so much unemployment? Why is there so much companies going bankrupt? And they couldn't answer. So I realized I had questions that I had to answer for myself. And then the second one, I realized that there was a whole world outside of Pamplona. Like, I was living in a small town and there was so much going on, like something happening in New York was getting people near me fired and unemployed. And that struck me a lot. So when I was 17 and I had to decide what to do with my life, I decided not to go and do medicine. That was kind of what I was predestined to do, and do economics. Because at the end of the day, economics is a major factor in every human decision. Every time we have to make a choice, we always go to that financial factor. And I think that's super important. So I saw that as a way of starting answering my questions. So I chose to do economics at Manchester, University of Manchester, because it was a way of getting out of my bubble, of getting out of Pamplona and getting to see that huge world, especially in international universities such as Manchester. That was an amazing experience that I will, repeat any day. Getting to meet so many people and like opening my mind to different cultures, different ways of thinking, especially like I will have so many arguments with people, like good arguments about ways of thinking, ways of living, ways of seeing the future. So when I finished my degree, I was, okay, what now? I wanted to do consulting, but I still felt there were so many questions. I didn't want to do just a master's for the sake of it. I wanted to fill in that gap of people, learn to have a global mindset, and 1,000 more reasons that I came up along the way. Like right now, there's something that I think we have to realize. Everything that we are learning now is going to be outdated in 10 years, right? Like that's something I learned in one module here last week. Okay, Moore's law, like we double our capacity every 18 months. That also means that the way in which we are living right now is not going to be the way we are living in 10 years. And before, like our parents, grandparents, that was something that changed every generation. Now we're going to feel like we're going to experience so many changes in our lives, like throughout our lives. So that's something that IESE does. They teach you, of course. Like they teach you about finance, operations, everything. But what they want to do is for you to have a different way of thinking, right? Like that cannot be outdated. Technology can change. We can come up with different models for valuing companies, for valuing assets. We can come up with ways of creating more green companies, but everything can be outdated by the way we think, right? I think if we have that global mindset, that ever-changing mindset of let's think outside the box, then we are always going to be at the forefront of everything. We are here to change the world. But to change the world, we have to think in a way that no one's thinking yet. We are not following the crowd. We are coming up with different ideas, and that's something that's even valued in the professors. Like when we are in class and we challenge the professor, like, hey, what about that? That's something they really admire. And that's something I probably haven't seen in my life. The fact that professors are the first students. They come to you, you come to them, and that open door policy of, hey, let's sit in the garden and discuss, not about, for example, my finance professor, let's not discuss about the capital asset pricing model. Let's talk about what's going on in the market right now. What is Warren Buffett saying? What did he say in the annual, like in the shareholder meeting last week? What is Bitcoin? What are we doing? Are we investing? Are we not investing? And that's something that's way more enriching than sitting in a class and like listening to what has been told in 1,000 books. I was looking for things to do, and I came up with I bumped into this master's that was not just giving me deeper knowledge in economics, but also broadening my knowledge into other areas like operations, finance, marketing. So I went for it, especially because IESE, one of IESE's pillars is people. And that's something I realized when I was in my degree, that's an important factor that no one talks about. At uni, I studied about, numbers, profit, losses, but what about people? Because I think that's a differentiator. A company starts to go bankrupt when the people are not motivated. If you have your team motivated, if you understand the person, you go, at the end of the day, all CEOs, all employees, everybody are people. And companies are not just numbers, profit, losses. Companies are Maria, Rick, everybody is the company. There's one thing I've learned in IESE, and is that the only person that you can change is yourself. And you can extrapolate that to all aspects of life. You cannot change the environment in which you are. You cannot change the people that are around you. You cannot change your subordinates, your colleagues. You can change your attitude. You can change the way you are behaving and the way in which you react to what's going on. In my case, for example, I came here having a fixed idea of this is what's going on right now. This is what I want to be. And I came in thinking, I want to be a consultant. I want to get into an MBB. Have I achieved that? Yes. In a few months, I'm joining McKinsey as a business analyst here in Madrid. So do I think that's the biggest change? No. I think probably the Maria that came through IESE doors in September wouldn't have got into McKinsey. I think that what McKinsey really wants is the Maria that's right now sitting here, and the Maria that's going to graduate in July, and the one after that, because IESE only starts to change. Right now, I'm way more proactive than before. I couldn't even speak in public before I came to IESE. I wouldn't even be doing this interview before I came to IESE because I was super shy. Now professors are challenging me to present in public, all the time, do presentations, work in teams. Right now I know how to influence people, how to talk, how to look in the eye. Those changes that, as I was saying, they're not related to what you learn. It's not a hard skill. Here we are learning a lot of soft skills too. Not just that, the Maria that's sitting here right now, it's a Maria that has an open mind, a real open mind, and has a holistic view of not just a company, but of society. One of our professors says, if we included in the fees everything that you learn in IESE, you're not paying enough, guys, basically. Because there's no way in which we can value, and that's something also that we learn here. Zoom in and zoom out. Time and perspective are going to give you an idea of how valuable has been your experience. Right now, I've been here since September. I can tell you everything that changed, everything I learned. But probably if you interview me in 40 years, I will tell you much more of how my relationships with my colleagues have been influenced by IESE, even 40 years after I left this place. Because it has changed me, my relationship with other people, and my relationship with my past self and my future self. I embrace who I am right now. I love who I am right now, and I love the potential that I have. It's the case method, it's a whole different way of learning, that it's actually the way in which you learn all those soft skills. So you come to class, and every class is a case of a real company. Sometimes you don't know the company, sometimes this is Netflix or this is Google, companies that we know. And you sit there and, for example, for finance, you're just working through the balance sheets. Oh, we have this problem. Should we invest in this project? Like, oh, we want to expand to Portugal next month. Shall we do it? Shall we not do it? And you are in the shoes of that person. You become a CEO, CFO, a CEO. And that's what it's really enriching. For example, we were in product management, and each one of us was assigned a role. I was a design team. Do I have any idea about design? No, I don't. But that's what's enriching. Like, oh, you have this information, and my colleagues had other kind of information. So we were working together, and that's what's going to happen in the real world. Like the day after tomorrow, when we are there in the job market and we are starting to work, we are not going to be thinking of, oh, capital asset pricing model, or, oh, what's Black-Scholes? No, we are going to be working with other people. And that's what the case method does. We run simulations. We've run many simulations actually about, hey, you are working in that company. What are you going to do? And once you're in those shoes, that learning stays with you forever. Right now, I remember the first case I did at IESE because of that, because I was a protagonist of that case. I was Lucia Gomez, like that girl that was going through a burnout at work. I was a girl. And some days I'm Jeff Bezos. And other days I'm Larry Page deciding what to do, And that's what's enriching. That's what's differentiating IESE from any other business school. I will say, firstly, you have to embrace your mistakes. And that was my main mistake, actually, when I came to IESE. For the first period, for the first 2 months, I was scared of participating because, oh, I'm such a perfectionist. Everything has to be all right. Like, my contributions have to be great. And no, you're here to make mistakes. Because if you make mistakes right now here in IESE, you're going to make them when you're working, and that's going to be horrible. So you have to embrace mistakes. You have to embrace not being right. No, that's something that one of my friends was telling me the other day. I come to IESE because I don't know anything. If you know everything, what's the point of doing a master's, right? You come here to make mistakes because you don't know it. You come here to learn. So that's the first thing. Someone that's able or willing to make mistakes. The second one, I would say, to be curious, to learn about things, and never have the mindset of, I know everything. I came here saying, oh, I have a business degree, I have an economics degree. What's the point in doing a master's in business? And I'm the one that has learned the most. I'm telling you that. Be curious, be ready to learn new things, to unlearn what you knew before. That's super important. And relearn something new. And third, someone nice and open to meeting new people. Because that's the main thing. Here in IESE, there's an amazing network of alumni. You go through the other day, I was walking down the hallway and someone told me, oh, that's the CEO of Google Spain. But there are your colleagues, there are other alumni, there are other students. Be daring. Be ready to go approach new people, be ready to meet new people, learning from others, Not just the professors, but learning from anyone. And be ready, the fourth one, and I think the most important one is be ready to be a person. Be ready to be vulnerable. Nothing that kind of encompasses everything I've said before, but also be ready to be Maria, That's another point of IESE. We're not a massive group. We are right now 80 students. And you see it, you come through the doors and everybody, staff, professors, know your name. I come through the doors and now we have to show the QR code because of COVID, and the security guards know my name. And you have to be ready to be Maria, not just to be student number 1023. You have to be ready to be open to everyone, no?